The F1 season marches on, and we're now 6 races into the championship, and the picture is becoming ever more clear. So what better time than to look back at the 4 bingo boards I made with Hazel, Jonty and Sean to see who looks like they got dealt the strongest hand. We'll start with my board here, and okay, I can tell you up front that nothing is getting confirmed at all, one way or another. But there are definitely some predictions leaning very heavily in a certain direction. Title number 6. I get this square if Hamilton gets the title at the end of the year, and we have to say it's looking pretty good for him so far. I don't think any of us thought we'd be sitting here rooting for Valtteri Bottas to break the streak, but here we are. The Finn is his closest challenger, and so far looks to be actually making the best of the car beneath him. But Hamilton only seems to get stronger as the year goes on, so let's hope that beard and porridge combo keeps Bottas in touching distance. I mean, I say let's hope. Technically for bingo's sake I want Bottas to lose, but come on. He's our best hope to keep it interesting this year. Now, so far Mercedes have won every single race, 5 1-2s and 1 1-3. With that in mind, and taking account of all the gump I just said, I'm pretty sure the champion this year will be a Mercedes driver and a Mercedes car. It's not confirmed till the math squares up, but we're not suddenly expecting a sudden renaissance from Racing Point in Canada onwards unless the Strolls slip a cool $10 to the stewards. The pink team do seem more likely to do it than Ferrari at the minute though, let's be honest. I also predicted Toro Rosso rinsing through Honda power units like Sonic the Hedgehog burns through running shoes, but actually it's all been pretty quiet on the Honda front, hasn't it? They're not quite at Mercedes or Ferrari level, but they've just been getting on with things, haven't they? This one looks destined to fail unless the Honda factory burns down or something. Now Renault are 8th and they're having a miserable time. I was way too optimistic with how well I thought they'd do. And to be honest, I was expecting this to be their build-up year to start challenge for victories, but well, unless they find a banana in their exhaust pipe, which would be an easy thing to miss I guess, I don't think they'll be threatening the big points. George Russell outscoring Norris this season? No. We haven't yet had a driver losing their win due to a time penalty hanging over their head, but we've come oh so close already. Max Verstappen was nipping a struggling Hamilton's heel right through the back end of Monaco, and if he'd managed to dive past in the last couple of laps, he would have crossed the line first, but lost the victory immediately. It was so close, I was furious. Let's move on to Sean's board next. So we have to be a little loose with our interpretations of some of the words, because being strict is no fun, and with that in mind, I'm awarding the sponsor investigated for fraud square to Sean after Rich Energy were found to have allegedly plagiarised their logo from white bikes. Now I'll say nothing and I'll let you be the judge. No, actually I'll let the judge be the judge, who said, I find it more likely than not that they directly and knowingly copied White's logo in designing their logo. So this square is a win in my eyes. Now it's still early days, but it's looking ropey to expect Charles Leclerc to win 7 races this year. I still think he could win 1 or 2, but it would obviously help if he got out of Q3 and such. Let's just say that I suspect Ferrari did not have this square on their bingo board and are probably actively trying to sabotage Sean. Sean gets a 3rd win with Baku is boring. I gave him this prediction suspecting it would fall back in line with Baku 2016 and sort of end up a bit rubbish, and it was. I really got to stop making predictions I don't want to happen. I can't believe I'm saying this 6 races into the season, but I really don't think all the drivers are going to get 5 points. I think Williams will score some points at some point, but it'll probably have to be after a 14-car pile-up in a thunderstorm, and even then, only one of them will sneak into 10th. Again, another prediction I hope not to be true, and not just because it's on Sean's board and he's already doing well. Not that I'm competitive or anything. I think a lot of people assumed Kvyat was a bit of a seat warmer at Toro Rosso, but he's actually been pretty great. He's really been getting on with it, scoring points where he can and keeping his head down. I can't imagine why they'd swap him out for Tictum unless Tictum turns up with a Koch brother or something in tow. I expect to see Kvyat there in Abu Dhabi. We spoke of Renault's ills. Hulkenberg getting a podium looks a long shot, and maybe he'll get lucky in that thunderstorm race with the 14-car pile-up that Williams are hoping for, but otherwise Gasly will probably not win a race. This is a square at risk for sure, but if Red Bull have a couple of those races like in Mexico where they claw back a huge amount of their deficit and Max can't capitalise, then maybe? I mean, Gasly isn't awful. He had a rocky start, but he's not doing as badly as it first appeared. But I just don't think he's win good. He's just good. So that's 3 winning squares for Sean so far and no confirmed losses. Got a real danger streak here, but probably not enough to worry him too much. He's looking pretty good early on as we go to Jonty's board, who, like me, has got 1 loss already and won't be able to confirm anything else today, but some things are becoming clearer. Again, we can highlight the driver team championship square as being in danger. We covered this on my board. Mercedes have really pulled the rug out from under a lot of this, and next year, you'll see, it'll be 64 pro Mercedes predictions. We're not getting fooled again. Interestingly, despite all the dominance, no one has yet won 3 races in a row. Bottas is currently winning every 3rd race, much like with championships, Hamilton hasn't won more than 2 in a row. Yet. And I mean, we're off to Canada next, and that's like his strongest track, so I mean, this square is definitely in immediate danger. If Red Bull or Ferrari were more of a threat, this square would be looking pretty, but once again, we're looking to Bottas to keep this alive. You've got a lot on your shoulders, Valtteri. The Toro Rossos haven't been ordered to move out of the way for Red Bull. Yet. The junior bulls are actually pretty strong though, and have been mixing it within snipping distance of Gasly on occasion. But having said all that, I don't think Red Bull are fighting for anything significant enough to warrant sending instructions down to the Toro Rosso, so I'm calling this less likely. I think Leclerc beating Vettel is still 50-50. The wind hasn't particularly blown in his direction this year so far, but Leclerc has shown very frequently to be the challenge of Vettel, and if he continues to get stronger as the year goes on, it could be the start of a consistent run of teammate victories sooner rather than later. I don't see Bottas being dropped, do you? I'd be shocked, outraged and flabbergasted should Mercedes do that. I'm basically cheering him on for the championship at this moment. So right now it doesn't look like Verstappen is going to be winning any races anytime soon. But, now hear me out here. Red Bull will probably continue to develop their car in partnership with Honda. They probably don't care about throwing Hondas in the bin to make some breakthroughs, and Red Bull tend to find their stronger tracks towards the end of the season. So it's still all on the table, really. Hell, he was close in Monaco, it could still happen. We'll find out this weekend if Williams win their raft race, won't we? Assuming the raft race goes ahead. Assuming Williams still exists in 2 days' time. So Jonty's board is still mostly intact, not much to get worried about yet. And so we come to Hazel's board, and straight off the bat we have a half correct square. Jamie Chadwick has become development driver for Williams, so Hazel is halfway there. Now she did specify we need 2 new female driver announcements this year, but with the W Series showcasing the junior talent, there's every chance another woman could slot into a young driver program somewhere, so this looks good. Now this may be up for contention, but Toro Rosso pulled a power unit change in Kvyat's car in China midway through the weekend, and then changed Albon's power unit before the race after he crashed the car. Were either of these failures? I'm not going to fail this square yet, but I am flagging it to discuss with the others in the mid-season bingo review for sure. Charles Leclerc's punctured tyre wrecked a whole lot of his floor, but it didn't take out the rear wing, so this square is still open. Nothing on the table yet for Silverstone, as the British circuit is quashing all rumours trying to surface, but with Liberty giving big talk to drop the number of circuits to make way for new ones, could Silverstone be one of them? Again, tenterhooks. And now another win for Hazel. Somehow, miraculously, the Dutch Grand Prix is being turned around for next year. So not only is Hazel ticked off a square, it's right next to one she's already got. So she's halfway to a line. And of course, this line needs Hulkenberg on the podium, so you know. I'm not ticking it yet, but Verstappen is beating Gasly this year, isn't he? I mean, he is, isn't he? He is. The rumours are already starting to swirl about Vettel retiring at the end of the year. I mean, it's probably all pish, but still. Rumours. Plenty of rumours. I discussed these rumours on the F1 Word podcast, and while I did say it was probably all speculative nonsense, I couldn't shake the feeling that Vettel doesn't seem that happy at the moment. So where is the end of his tether? Alfa Romeo are 9th in the championship, and yet even me saying that has made you think, are they? Are they really? Because it doesn't seem like they should be 9th, right? They seem stronger than that. But the midfield is in flux at the moment, and if Alfa get both of their drivers scoring, then maybe 4th? Maybe? This influencer invasion square has ended up being a bit vague, but Jonty entertained Salt Bay at the Monaco Grand Prix. Salt Bay. An influencer of seasoning. I mean, I'm giving this Hazel this one, but who saw that coming? So after 6 races, Sean and Hazel have 3 winning squares each, though Hazel has a loss. Jonty and I have just single losses each, but we're building to it. Slow and steady wins the race. Just like Formula 1. Unfortunately.